Oh, no you don't. I was ready for you this year. We're going weird. Hello, anyone. Mr. Skyson here, and welcome to Love at First Sight. Yes, it's basically another romance novel. I don't know why I lean into them for Valentine's time. Maybe it's because there aren't exactly a lot of romance platformers around. The game has a sort of painted-looking art style, some sickly, pasty-looking people, a cute Cyclops girl, and possibly other things of interest. I've really only seen a few screenshots of it, but the Cyclops caught my eye. No pun intended. So let's go woo a one-eyed lady. That's an eye. A musical eye. Act 1. Catch my eyes. Please, I dropped them and I don't want them dirty. Here's that art style that I was talking about before. Yeah, everything's sort of askew. It's sketchy, it's a little bit splattery looking. But I don't know, I kinda like it, it's charming. It's early in the morning. This is the path I always take to get to school. I normally have to hurry, but today I'm taking it easy. Also, I just noticed the text box is a mummy. It's got wrappings. I had a little extra time to get out of the house, which is kind of unusual. Usually I'm stuck chewing on Dad's overcooked bacon. I'm feeling good under the warm morning sunshine and cool morning breeze as I head to school this morning. Did I mention it's morning? Hello? Oh, I gotta click it again. Alrighty then. I'm not in a hurry this morning, but it still doesn't take long to get to school this morning. My house isn't right next to the school, but it isn't that far away either. Even if I don't leave as early as I did today, I never have to run to get to school on time or anything. That's what I was thinking when I was changing into my school slippers. I absentmindedly climbed the stairs, heading to my classroom on the second floor, class 2-2. Put my hand on the door to open it, and then... explosions! No? Egad! Perky protagonist girl, or something.
Oh, Makan, good morning. You're here earlier than usual. How unlike you.
You have a very large hand. Her loud, ear-splitting voice shakes me out of my morning daze. Good morning, Akemi. I see you're getting a head start on being loud and obnoxious today.
There's nothing wrong with being energetic.
True, I suppose, but I'm not really a morning person. This overly spirited person is Tsunemi Akemi. She's always like this, the kind of person who's always going full throttle from the moment she wakes up until the moment she falls asleep. I don't know how she does it, unless maybe it's the caffeine injections she does hourly. You're not energetic, you're out of control, but I guess that's what I should be expecting by now. Morning, Tomo. You know her better than I do, right? Does she have a volume knob? Maybe a mute button, something like that? That'd be nice. Oh my, yeah. Here's the sort of pasty look that I was talking about with everybody. Looking at them, it reminds me a little bit of, like, Tim Burton-esque art, for some reason. I don't know. They look nice, but pasty? Is it just me? Morning. I've known Akemi for a long time, and I can say for sure that no, she doesn't. This is... Ochiai? I've never seen that name before, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Tomoyori. He's a zombie in contrast to Akemi's liveliness. But, like Akemi, his energy level is constant. He's lifeless all day, every day. I can relate. Yeah, I've only known her for a little while, but I'm starting to realize that. You'll get used to it.
Makan, lately you've started treating me as bad as Tomo-kun.
Maybe. What of it?
Is this really how you should be treating someone you've only known for 2 months?
Maybe. Considering how annoying you are, do you really expect me to treat you any differently? Annoying? I mean, she's perky, but annoying? Well, maybe once we get into it. Yeah, I've only known these two for about 2 months, though I've gotten pretty close to them in that time. The perky friend and the drag-along guy. I dig it. I'm Fukunaga Mamoru. 2 months ago, I had to switch high schools because my parents work. Fall's almost over. I transferred in the middle of the school season, and because of that, I was a bit of an oddity among the other students. I was really nervous at first, but luckily these two came along and we became friends, in a manner of speaking.
That's mean. Tomo-kun, say something.
Well, it seems like you two are getting close. Yeah, thanks to you.
Hey, don't ignore me.
I can say for sure that Tomo is the real reason that I'm comfortable here now. He doesn't take care of his appearance, and he's not the warmest person you'll ever meet, but he's pretty smart and ultimately a good guy. I learned how dependable he is pretty quickly.
Okay, ignoring me is now forbidden, you hear me?
We might be ignoring her, but I guess I owe Akemi as well. The fact that she's so annoyingly loud is her only real flaw. I don't know anyone more inspiring than her. Lately, Akemi's been trying to get me to hang out with her and Tomo all the time. The two seem to balance each other out. I mean, that makes sense, high energy, low energy. Though it's not a perfect balance by any means. From what I hear, they've been friends since they were kids, though Tomo once told me she's basically just been following me around this whole time. The bell rings. It's already time for homeroom. What's first period today? Math. Our homework is due today. You did do it, right? Did I do it? Yeah, yesterday I finished with time to spare for a change. I was actually able to get to bed early because of that. Early to bed, early to rise. Holy crap, we are on the ball.
I said ignoring me was forbidden. Hey, pay attention to me.
The morning lessons end and lunchtime begins. Cool. Lunch in the classroom.
Lunchtime, time to eat.
We move from our classroom to one further down the hall. We're the only ones here because only 2 or 3 models in the game, and Akemi's thundering voice echoes in the empty classroom. The 3 of us have been coming to this empty classroom for lunch since I transferred to this school. It's pretty nice. We get the whole room to ourselves. We can run around, doodle on the walls, nobody cares. It's abandoned. I think we may be ghosts.
On the menu for today is Salisbury steak. Awesome.
What are you, a kid? Come on, can you at least lower your volume during lunch? Tomo, help me out here. After a moment, Tomo replies, "What do you want me to do?" Then he sighs and snatches Akemi's chopsticks from her. That's just gonna make her louder, isn't it?
Hey!
Then, as Akemi opens her mouth to protest, Tomo stuffs a piece of Salisbury steak into her mouth. Yeah, that'll do it. She seems to have forgotten anything she wanted to say when the food entered her mouth, and she quietly chews it. A nice dynamic between these 3. Her mood improves a moment later and her expression dissolves into bliss as she chews. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Have Salisbury steak. She really is an airhead. I'm not her keeper, you know. May as well be if she follows you around like that. Could have fooled me. Who else could hold back that freight train of a girl? You think I can hold back a freight train? Okay, maybe not. But at least you keep her tethered. That's something.
Exactly.
Akemi cries, spewing food everywhere. Then realizing what she just did, she hastily closes her mouth and swallows.
I'm the #1 most cheerfulest girl in town. Tsunemi Akemi-chan.
And with that, she goes back to eating her lunch. I guess she can't stay quiet for long no matter what she's doing. Maybe she'll explode if we duct tape her mouth closed. The most cheerfulest girl in town? I don't think you have any competition for that title. No kidding. She's one of our school's celebrities. Tomo starts his own lunch. Seriously? One of? You mean there's more? Do we need more of her? Yeah, our high school has a lot of unusual students. There's a lot of rumors floating around concerning our school, it seems. Since the main thing is about a Cyclops girl, are you an actual zombie and she is maybe a magical girl or something? Wow, what other kinds of celebrities are there? Well, there's the wolf kid, the vampire, a few others. I think we got a yokai somewhere around here. You don't know about any of them? Well, first there's... Tomo takes a quick glance at Akemi, but she seems to be lost in her own food-induced paradise. Sounds nice. She's not even listening to us anymore. Well, there's a lot of them. If you really want to know, I'll tell you later. He doesn't want to talk about this in front of Akemi? I guess it's a touchy subject, but I'll make a point to ask about it later. I think this is a school for the supernatural. That's my guess right now. Place your bets.
Hold on.
You ate way too fast. I can relate to that too. Such a relatable game. Crap, I barely touched any of my own food while we were chatting. I should have started on my lunch when she had her mouth closed. I'm not going to get another chance now. I gotta horf it all down.
Hey, what were you two talking about?
Nothing. I was recounting the epic saga of how you won your fame. He seemed to be really interested in it, so I wanted him to hear that from the source. Wait, what? Just roll with it.
Really? Sure thing, Makun. Do you want to hear about when I saved the town from the first time with my fantastic powers? I hadn't met Tomo-kun yet, and...
No, I really don't want to hear about that. Come on, Tomo, let's go. A minute ago, you told me to take care of her, and now I'm telling you to do it. I haven't even touched my food yet, so you be her friend for a bit. Oh man, I have to take on the burden of Akemi. And without a second glance, he starts eating his lunch in silence. We eat in shifts.
Makun, are you listening? So anyway, my mom had gone out shopping and...
No, you're the one who needs to listen. Man, how did I get roped into this? And so, for the rest of lunchtime, I got stuck listening to her story while I finished my lunch and gave her the occasional nod. Just smile and nod, that's the best way to get through it. Ding, ding. School ends with the bell bong.
Huh?
Makun, where's Tomo-kun? Akemi calls out to me as I'm packing up my stuff. She rushed out of the classroom right when class ended, and it seems she came back just as quickly. He said he had some things to take care of back at his place and left a little early. What's up?
Oh, really? Well, can you take this to the third-year classrooms for me? I promised to return this before the end of the school day, but I've got a club meeting I've got to go to, so...
She hands me a small paper bag. It feels like it's got books or something inside it. I sigh. Fine, I'll do it. Gotta do everything around here.
Thanks a bunch. Give it to a student in class 3-2 named Ye Katashi. I'm counting on you.
Alrighty then. Thank you for this task and burden. No sooner does she say that than she disappears once again. She just can't sit still, can she? I should really consider using duct tape on her sometime. Maybe we could find a way to let her build up energy and harness it in some way? I suppose I'd better get going too. No telling how long this Ye person is going to be there for. I am probably mispronouncing that name and I apologize. I finish packing up and head to the classrooms on the 3rd floor. Yep, that's a hallway. That's a stairwell. That's a classroom. So much variation in the art. So animated. I arrive at the 3rd-year student's classroom with Akemi's package and look for the person I'm supposed to deliver it to. But some of the other students tell me that she's stepped out for a bit. Bummer. They say she'll be back soon and that I can just wait here for her, but 10 minutes pass and she's still nowhere to be found. Maybe I should have one of the other people give it to her and just go home. School's over and most of the students have been in their club activities for a while. While I'm waiting in the 3rd-year classroom, the other students file out, and the school grounds slowly become devoid of life. The noise of daytime activity has all but disappeared. I feel like I'm in detention. I want to go home already. Where is this person? I'm right here. I'm actually a ghost. You just couldn't see me. Giving up, I leave the classroom and turn toward the stairwell. My classroom is on the 2nd floor, so I usually don't spend any time up here. The layouts of the 2 floors are pretty much identical, but somehow I feel like this is some alternate dimension. Yeah, I can totally see that. Everything's exactly the same, but still subtly different. And just as I'm about to descend the stairs, I start to hear what I think are sobs coming from nearby. Question mark? I figured I was alone and had relaxed because of that, but the sudden sobbing catches me off guard and I freeze. Oh god, there's some monster in the halls. It's trying to lure people in with the sobs of the innocent, and then it eats them. School of monsters, I say. School of monsters! I hold my breath and strain my ears. It's not my imagination. Someone nearby is crying softly. Hearing someone crying in an empty school building sounds like the beginning of a horror story. And then the plot twist. We die. What am I saying? This isn't a horror story. This is school. It's so much worse. School might be over, but the sun hasn't even gone down yet. Finding someone else in the building isn't that strange. Well, I say that, but the situation isn't exactly normal either. The sobbing continues. It sounds like it's coming from the next floor up. It's quiet, but it reverberates off the narrow stairwell's walls. It's definitely coming from the floor above me, though I didn't realize it until now. But this building only has 3 floors. The only thing above me is the roof, right? School is over. The door to the roof should be locked by now, but I can still hear crying, so there's no way it could be coming from there. But if the door is locked, that means the way up is just a dead end. I can't just walk up there to check and claim I happened to walk by. Well, you could, rather than having an inner monologue. Check anyway. Maybe somebody's trapped on the other side of the locked door, or maybe it's just an echo. But before I can think it through, my curiosity has me turning around and heading back up the stairs. There we go, that's a good lad. I climb step by step up the stairs as quietly as I can, though I can't help but make a little noise. As I get closer to the source of the sobbing, I begin to hear it more clearly. There's just one voice, and judging by the sound of it, it's a girl's. It feels like I'm climbing up 10 stories, but it only takes a few seconds, and suddenly I'm almost on the landing. I take the last step and turn toward the source of the crying. In front of me is a girl wearing our school's uniform. She's lying against the door to the roof, sobbing. The girl hears me walking towards her and starts shivering as she turns her head toward me. Nothing up to this point has been too out of the ordinary, at least until I saw her face. She didn't have one! Dun dun dun! Da-da! The Cyclops girl, star of the show. How you doing? Nice eye. Exclamation! The girl stares at me with her single eye, her face sopping wet from crying. And I don't mean that she was missing an eye. She literally had one giant eye in the middle of her face. As if it would be anywhere else on her face. Suddenly she registers that I'm standing in front of her, and she jumps, drawing her limbs to her body. A bit of light reflects off the unwiped tears near her wide-open eye. I can tell by the way she's looking at me that she's terrified. She's not the only one, though. I've never come across a Cyclops before. And she looks a little bit beat up, too. Without really understanding what I'm looking at, I stare at her, unmoving, and she does the same. She's never seen a guy, I've never seen a Cyclops girl. It's a very weird situation. She's wearing our school's uniform, but is she really a student here? Maybe she's one of those celebrities. Or something. Maybe not. She looks a little bit roughed up, poor kid. ... No matter how many times I blink, probably insulting her a little bit, a second eye doesn't suddenly grow on her face, and I finally realize that what I'm seeing is reality. Faced with this girl who looks like she belongs in a fairy tale, I begin to panic. Strangely, though, I'm able to keep my fright from showing. The situation is so unreal. I guess my brain just refuses to fully acknowledge it. I heard crying and came to see what was going on. Are you alright? The longer the silence drags on, the harder it becomes to break it. I try to come up with something, anything, to say to force myself out of the stupor, but my mind is completely blank. At this point, anything is better than silence. Sorry, I had beans for lunch. It seems her mind is just as blank as mine. I work my mouth soundlessly a few times before finally spewing out the first thing that comes to my mind. Do you need something to wipe your face? Her uniform is black, so I can't tell if it's wet from her crying into it. She doesn't have a handkerchief or anything, though. I produce my own handkerchief from my pocket and move it to offer it to her. I approach the girl sitting at the top of the stairs to give her the handkerchief, and once again she starts shivering in fear. She's looking at me like I'm some kind of monster. Am I really that scary? Isn't she the monster here? No! She's a girl that just happens to have one eye. We don't know what you are. I still think this is a school of monsters. Maybe you're some eldritch abomination? Possibly? Dots. Thank you. I hold the handkerchief out stiffly for several seconds. Then, cautiously, oh so cautiously, she takes the handkerchief and wipes her face. Those are the first words she's spoken so far, but her trembling voice is so quiet that I almost don't hear her. I only transferred to this school about 2 months ago. I don't think I've seen you around. Come here often? This is definitely the first time we've met, of course. I'm sure that if I had seen her before, her face would have been burned into my mind. There's no way I could forget what I'm seeing right now. ... Should I ask her to give my handkerchief back? It's obvious from the way she's looking at me she's still confused and afraid. Well, we're not going to get anywhere at this rate. We must be in different classes since I haven't seen you around before. What grade and class are you in? I'm in class 2 too.
Class 1-2.
She actually gave me a proper response this time. She really is a student here, I guess. Not a monster or something. Just has one big eye. Where does her brain fit, I wonder? Suddenly it hits me that I've been sharing the same school and, heck, the same world with this person all this time. Oh, 1 year lower then?
Yeah.
The conversation grinds to a halt again. I can't think of anything else to say, so I just get up and walk home. Actually, that's not true. I have a mountain of things I want to ask her. Hey, what's with the big eye? Oh, I'm sorry. But all of it has to do with her appearance, and I'm hesitant to bring that up. Maybe ask about the clothing. Time passes, and I hurriedly try to think of something to say to fill the silence. Turns out it's only been about a minute. What can I say? My mind is totally blank. Every heartbeat seems louder than the last, and the panic I thought had subsided wells up inside my mind again. I don't think I can keep this up. I'm blacking out. Right, I have to get going. See ya. The girl looks like she wants to say more, but without another word, I turn and flee down the stairs, leaving a yellow trail behind. I head to the shoe rack, change my shoes, and start rushing home. I walk on for a few more seconds after clearing the campus gates. Then I pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Jeez. Seems like that girl didn't follow me or even call after me. What, you thought she was a stalker? She's probably still sitting at the top of the steps in that desolate stairway. A cool wind is blowing as I walk home, and I gradually regain my composure. My heart is still racing, though. I think I'm going to feel uneasy about what just happened for a long time. I was really surprised. Maybe I still don't fully understand what I saw. Now I have to think about it some more. Was it fear? Was I afraid of her? No, there's nothing scary about some girl, even if she is. Honestly, I can't shake the thought that she might be some kind of monster. But she must be a human high school student, right? I was definitely scared out of my wits at first, but I think if she wanted to hurt me, she would have done it. In fact, she's beyond harmless. She's as timid as a mouse, and looked like she was very bullied. She was covered up in, scratches, scuffs, bandages, things like that. But if that's the case, why do I still feel uneasy? Is my mind just unable to accept that she only has one eye? Or is it the fact that I left a hurt-looking girl alone in a stairwell at school? No, that's not it. It's not like I was avoiding staring at her or anything. On the contrary, I couldn't stop locking eyes. Actually, I don't think I could have looked away even if I wanted to. Whatever, it's not worth dwelling on. The fact that I'm not disgusted by her after all this means it was just pure surprise, right? Reasonable. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable conclusion. Yeah, see, we agree. At any rate, I think it's safe to say anyone who saw her face wouldn't forget it anytime soon. As I'm thinking this over, I finally arrive at the familiar entryway to my house. I mean, you could always ask your friends, they might know. I was so absorbed in my thoughts, I guess I was on autopilot all the way home. I'm home. Silence. He lives alone.
Oh, welcome home. You're a little late, aren't you? What were you doing? Drugs? It was drugs, wasn't it? Oh, my poor baby. He's gotten into drugs.
How come he roped me into being her errand boy? Calm down. She wanted me to deliver something for her. Dots? More dots? Later that night, I let out a deep sigh as I'm lying on my futon, unable to sleep. For some reason, I couldn't tell my mom about the one-eyed girl. I mean, she probably wouldn't believe me anyway, she's got 6. Who ever heard of a one-eyed girl? It wasn't like it was a traumatic event or anything, but I almost feel guilty? Yeah, because you left her there, crying, scared, alone. At any rate, I can't stop thinking about her face. I know that if I don't fall asleep soon, I'm going to have to rush to school tomorrow. I try to forget about everything that happened today, but I just can't keep my eyes closed. They're starting to get a bit dry. She looked like she wanted to say something back there, but I panicked and ran away. I kind of regret not staying now. I roll over in my futon several times, but eventually I come to a decision. I am not going to go to sleep, so let's go back to school and just get there super early. I'm going to try to find that girl again. I feel like I should at least learn her name. Oh ho! Ooh, movement. Neat. Oh, she's so sad. Act 2. Have an eye for the next video. Cause yeah, I might bring this back in another episode or two, see where it goes. I was kind of expecting to maybe have some choices like some visual novels do, but it looks like this one's going to be purely reading. That said, I like the art style going on. It's a little bit messy looking, but it seems like it's intentionally so. And the little Cyclops girl, she's kind of cute in that frail thing I must protect type way. I kind of like the story so far, and I really hope that it does end up being a school for monster children, and we just don't know what we are. But anywho, this has been Love at First Sight. I hope you've enjoyed reading with me. If you did, then give the like button a tap. And if you want to see more like this or more from me, then give the subscribe button a big thumbs up. I will see you all next time, and remember to stay groovy.